Welcome back to Manic Mods, YouTube's newest home of polished guys and pandemonium. Just had to start with that one again. Just rolls right off the tongue. Guess what? SwitchBot has changed my perspective. As a matter of fact, product manufacturers would probably steer clear of me if they knew what I did to unsuspecting hardware. Maybe they like that new content creator smell, or perhaps it was my soulless stare in one of my debut videos. I did recently order this SwitchBot BlindTilt kit from Kickstarter and will be integrating into my bathroom blind soon. Whatever it may have been, their team reached out to me last month to introduce me to their 3rd generation drapery droid. And as a new content creator and smart home enthusiast, I eagerly accepted a complimentary starter kit into the SwitchBot ecosystem. While this is an honest review of a free product, I did mark the video as paid promotion. SwitchBot did not pay or persuade this review further than offering me that free product. I don't plan to do many reviews, but when I do, rest assured you'll always get my honest opinion. In this video, I'll detail the specs and installation of the Curtain 3, as well as my initial thoughts and workarounds. I'll review the features and integration of the SwitchBot Hub 2 into its own and other ecosystems via Matter and Cloud connectors. Finally, I'll give my first impressions of their ecosystem, including their Bluetooth Remote and BlindTilt kit. The SwitchBot Curtain 3 comes in 3 configurations depending on your rod or rail type. I've been testing the rod version, which is compatible with 15 to 40 millimeter diameter rods and is available today along with their U-rail version. If you have an I-rail, SwitchBot is still working on that 3rd revision of this configuration. The kit suggests an install time of 30 seconds, not including the automation and schedules you can configure with their app or smart hub. You will lose full manual control of the curtains, but the touch and go feature helps bridge this gap by automating open or close with a pull of a panel. The upgraded features are touted on the packaging. The QuietDrift mode will reduce noise to 25 decibels. QuietDrift is only available when automating, using delay execution or other scheduling. If you're trying to instantly trigger this feature by app or remote, you're out of luck for now. The same rings true for voice assistants, which is fine since mine haven't talked to me since the big event. The big event you may have missed, Google and Alexa are issued simultaneous voice commands. The slowest to respond is burned to a char. Oh, sorry, that's my voiceover face. Inside the box, you'll find main unit suitable for curtain rod up to 15 kilograms, which is 3 times stronger than their previous model. The hook pair easily connect to the main unit and create necessary tension for the drivetrain. This adhesive rod connector is specifically for extendable curtain rods. The wet wipe is to prepare surfaces for adhesives. A USB-A to USB-C cable is included for charging, though SwitchBot does make a solar panel as well. This familiar gizmo is a reset tool, and these clips are for tabbed top curtains. An adhesive magnet helps ensure you retain your closed position, and the beads fixer is not a fancy necklace, but essentially a tow cable for the Grommet style curtains that would otherwise bind when moving. Here's a closer look at the rod connector. This adhesive adapter is included to bridge the diameter difference you will find in extendable curtain rods. SwitchBot suggests this is suitable for diameter differences less than 3.5 millimeters. As mentioned prior, U-rail and I-rail are compatible with the Curtain 3 when purchased accordingly. All of the curtains in my house are rod type, which I will elaborate on in this section. The installation onto a curtain rod will depend on how your curtains are hung. There are generally 4 types of curtains that hang from curtain rods. A pocket top curtain conceals the entire rod from front to back. These are not compatible with the SwitchBot. While I feel you could work around the issue, they will create the most friction and likely bind when opening or closing. A tab top or back tab top will have less friction than a pocket top, but you will have to use the included clips to ensure the tabs are not ran over by the main unit. A grommet top will require the included beads fixer. This toe string will ensure the rings are uniformly towed, otherwise you'll be relying on a single toe point and may experience binding when opening or closing the curtains. A ring top curtain has the least amount of friction and does not require any of the included adapters unless you have an extendable curtain rod. The joint in these rods can cause issues, but SwitchBot includes an adhesive coupler to better bridge the gap. I always look to minimize problems in any installation. I had an extendable curtain rod that had a joint on each side that my curtain bots would have to traverse. The hook pair is designed to accommodate this difference and did so without the SwitchBot's rod connector, but this adhesive coupler did reduce friction and noise further. I still knew I would not want to hear that transition, so I set off to find a 12-foot rod with only one central joint. After hours of searching, I could not find any. If you're looking, I can only suggest you have one made at a specialty drapery store or make one yourself. I made mine with a 12-foot 1 1/4 inch dowel from Home Depot for $40. I added 2 bun feet, a size that I had not used in my do-it-yourself kitchen island. The next issue with our existing curtains is that we were using 5 curtain panels across the 12 feet. I contemplated adding a neodymium magnet between the panels, but ultimately used this as an opportunity for improvement. I picked up 2 wider light blocking curtains that use ring top to eliminate the need for the included adapters. I highly recommend these Mayer curtains for their microfiber-like quality, light blocking, and adjustable hooks. After more searching, I found articulating rings that pair nicely with them to further reduce any binding friction. After hanging the curtains, installing the SwitchBot took only 20 seconds for each panel, and per instructions I added the magnet to the center before calibration. The SwitchBot app easily finds the curtains and will walk you through calibration. Within calibration, you will be prompted to close your curtains and then assist the bot determine the open and close position of them. The SwitchBot Hub 2 allows you to take all of SwitchBot's devices in that ecosystem and share them with the rest of your smart home via your smart hub. It can use Matter or a cloud connector to HomeKit, SmartThings, Hubitat, Google, or Alexa. In any case, you will still be bottlenecked by the Bluetooth connection to the device. I've been trying to steer clear of Matter. I love evolving technologies and protocols, but I stay away from bleeding edge these days. To make this video more comprehensive though, I did give Matter my best shot. Here are the results. SmartThings Matter integration was unsuccessful for me despite my efforts. The firmware of the SwitchBot Hub is 1.0.0.9. I went into the Hub's Matter setup and reset the Hub per on-screen instructions. I copied the setup code and was reminded to return for adding secondary devices. Within SmartThings, the Hub 2 was automatically detected and I entered the setup code. I received a warning suggesting the Hub 2 is not a Matter certified device and I had to manually add my 2.4 GHz network before receiving a something went wrong error with a code 39401. I then tried to add the Hub manually by adding the device in SmartThings under Partner Devices. I added Matter and had to manually add my Wi-Fi network again, and after a moment I received the same error code 39401. After a few more attempts, I was about to give up, but SmartThings teased me again with auto-detecting the Hub 2. This time I did not receive the Wi-Fi prompt, but something still went wrong, and I received error code 04201. I ultimately gave up on SmartThings Matter integration and moved on with my trials. After resetting the Hub 2 again, I tested my luck with Alexa and Matter integration and received the same results twice. Within Alexa, you add a device and point the setup to Other before selecting Matter. I added the same SwitchBot setup code before receiving a something went wrong error. I reset the Hub again to try Google, selecting a new Works with Google device within the Home app. After a moment, the device did connect, although the Hub and its sensor reported as offline. I left the change bake for half a day, but the devices remained unavailable. While Google Matter integration failed twice, it seemed the most promising. I removed and reset the Hub 2 from the SwitchBot app before re-adding, then I went into the Matter setup and reset the device per instructions. After copying the setup code, come on. While it's a fucking toad, why? It's not even funny. Ribbit. After copying the setup code, the Hub and its sensor were installed and online. To expose the Hub 2's connected devices, I went back into SwitchBot's Matter settings and selected secondary devices. I added all the secondary devices and observed them migrate into Google. I was happy to see that Google and Matter integration worked, but since Google is in the cloud, I still favored my SmartThings ecosystem, also in the cloud because it's my primary ecosystem. Within SmartThings, I added the device under Partner Devices and selected SwitchBot. After pop-up authentication for SwitchBot, my devices were added and I tested a few simple automations successfully. The cloud connection into Alexa also worked well. In my testing, I had to individually add the SwitchBot devices via cloud services. I had already enabled them, but had to go one step further and configure Alexa with the SwitchBot app. The account was successfully linked and SwitchBot devices were migrated without further issue. Finally, the cloud integration into Google also worked in case you're having trouble with Matter. The SwitchBot app will point you to Google Home, where you should add a new Works with Google device, find the SwitchBot Smart app, and sign into your SwitchBot account, which will link all your devices via the cloud service. Despite the hiccups, the Hub 2 is still warmly welcomed in my environment. It allows me to synchronize opening and closing of my curtains with my existing current eWand blind retrofits I added in 2019, so when the blinds open in the morning, the curtains are configured to open as well. Likewise, when I start my movie time harmony activity, they close with the blinds. Some other neat features of the Hub 2 include assignable buttons as well as a temperature and humidity sensor. This sensor is pigtailed off the USB-C for accuracy, although mine currently lives next to my router, which surrounds it in heat anyway. Perhaps the neatest thing about this hub is its integration with an IR blaster. The possibilities are endless with this feature, programming is a breeze, and it controls my Vornado fan without any trouble. Worth noting, however, infrared devices brought into the SwitchBot ecosystem will not work with the Bluetooth remote. Given the recent release of the SwitchBot Curtain 3, I wanted to emphasize this product in the review, but since SwitchBot sent me this nice BlindTilt kit and the remote, I wanted to build them into this review as well. The remote is a nice addition to the ecosystem, which is compatible with all of their products with or without their hub. I have affixed mine near the curtains to enable independent control without using the touch and go feature. In case you're wondering, you cannot enable cloud services for their Bluetooth remote, so it lives only in the SwitchBot ecosystem. As indicated in my intro, I've had the BlindTilt kit for 6 months awaiting installation. With my downstairs served by Current's eWands, I took the liberty of installing into my office blinds and found the installation straightforward. Included in the BlindTilt kit is the main unit. This little guy is built quite different from my eWands. The Current eWand replaces your original wand, which makes installation easier, but you will lose manual control. There is, however, an adjustment knob on the bottom that enables adjustment via the motor. Also included in the BlindTilt kit is the solar panel. I've had these installed for about 2 weeks and observed a 2% charge per day, so safe to say they should remain charged. These stickers can assist adhesion of the template card, although I did not need them. A reset tool is included in this kit like the curtains, in addition to a wet wipe and measuring tape to determine your wand size. Within the accessory box, you will find a USB charging cable, a cover for the main unit's bracket, as well as the open flex coupling which connects the wand to the main unit. 2 mounting bases are included for different blinds. This one is for installation where a lift cord is next to the wand, and this one is for standard installations without such interference like my office blinds. Finally, these adapter spacers ensure the gear clamps onto any size wand. Installation of the BlindTilt kit took me less than 10 minutes. I removed my valance and pulled back an ambient light strip before getting started. I used the measuring tape to determine I had a large wand. If you're chuckling to yourself right now, please stick around until the end of the video. After sizing, I added the adhesive template to ensure all goes according to plan. This guided placement of the large spacer adapter to the wand in the central lower space of it. The same template also guided the placement of mounting base A. My wand was between sizes and the large adapter was a tight fit, so I removed the wand to clamp the open flex coupling gear around the spacer adapter. The main unit slides up into the mounting base. Here it's important to align the gear and you may have to slide the main unit up or down. As suggested, the solar panel is a worthy addition. I added it by lifting my blinds and then pulling them outwards from their bracket. This allowed me to snake the wire up and through the rear, and after adhering the solar panel, I connected it to the unit and tucked the wires away. Adding the wand to the app should have been the first step, but I saved it for last to calibrate simultaneously. You'll first put the unit into pairing mode and then associate with a name and group. The app can also guide you through installation with video or images. Calibration is straightforward. Close down, then confirm the position of the blinds. Open, then confirm that position. Then close upwards before confirming that position. Finally, open them once more to conclude calibration. Like the curtains, you do have an option to reduce noise via a silent mode, and given the gearing of such a device, I would not expect it to be much quieter. My overall impressions of the SwitchBot Curtain 3 and ecosystem are very positive. Given the variations of curtains and blinds, their products are as close to a one-size-fits-all solution as you can probably get. I'd love to see future iterations of this product support Z-Wave or Zigbee, but hopefully Matter will be sorted out by then. I think SwitchBot's success is largely because they work so close with the community. Each of their products have been crowd-funded. They also continue to engage the community, myself included, to test and review their products. If I was not a die-hard solder fan who enjoys voiding warranties and adding relays to products, I probably would have owned their button pusher in 2019. But in 2023, they have my stamp of approval for their entire ecosystem. Alright, if you've watched my other content, you probably are wondering how I made it this far without any offensively immature jokes. You're in luck, I was just waiting until viewership tapered off. If you have a rod pocket, please keep it to yourself, as the SwitchBot is not designed for that. Without exception, you should always clean your rod with a wet wipe before engaging in curtain pulling. Always ensure you're using both hands, one on your rod and the other on your main unit when securing the hook pair, or your rod may fall to the floor. If your rod extends and you find the midsection bulge too much for your main unit, use the rod connector to reduce friction. If your main unit does not wake with a tug when you're trying to activate touch and go, you're either not tugging hard enough or your rod is too slippery. Finally, the beads fixer under no circumstance should be used as a nice chandelier. What the fuck were you thinking?